Hello and welcome to Mama Says. I'm your host, Amber Autry, and this week I talked to comedian Lia Berman and her intelligent, brilliant, hilarious son, Sir. We have a great conversation. We talk about managing the relationship between being a new mom and the grandparents, why it's very important to show your kids good music early on, and why you must always, always, always show yourself love and compassion as a mom. You're not always going to get it right, but actually, you really do. You just don't know it yet. It's a great conversation. You're going to love it. So get comfy and enjoy this episode of Mama Says. Hi, Jackson.
Yeah, and I'm your mama.
Oh, that's perfect. How are you guys?
We did it. Cheers. Here. Cheers.
Cheers.
I want to have a different kind of cup.
Okay, well, we'll have a different kind of cup later.
No, this is yours.
We're sharing
Yeah.
because we share.
He's like,
We work on sharing. We work on sharing.
So you introduced him as Jackson, but I've heard the name Sir. Where did that come from?
I call Jackson Sir. Why do I call you Sir? Do you know? Because when Jackson was very, very little, when he was a tiny little baby.
Wait. In Cars 3, Jackson Storm is in Cars 3, and he's one of the fastest cars. He beats Lightning McQueen, and if Jackson Storm is fast, Lightning McQueen cannot keep up with Jackson Storm. He's one of the fastest cars.
Did you all get that?
So in Cars 3, Jackson Sir, is that
Jackson Storm.
Jackson Storm? Oh, okay.
He's the fastest.
He's the fastest.
Right. I call Jackson Sir because my favorite movie of all time is The Big Lebowski.
Oh, nice. My mom's is too.
Okay, so my favorite movie, like top 5 favorite movies. And there is a part in that movie where Walter, John Goodman, says to Sellers, who is like in an incubator, he says, "And a good day to you, sir." Okay, there's just that one part. Okay, and when Jackson was a baby and he was like a couple days old and he didn't do much, he just sat there looking cute. We would just walk up to him and go, "And a good day to you, sir." And it just kind of stuck, and we call you Sir.
Did I laugh?
You laughed. Yeah. Okay.
Do you like that nickname, Jackson?
Do you like it when I call you Sir? No.
All right. Honesty. Too bad. Mama makes the rules.
I make the rules, right? Am I the boss? Yeah, I am the boss.
So what's life been like quarantining like together?
What was it like when we couldn't go to school? Was it fun? No.
No.
What did I have to do all day? I had to work. And what did Detta have to do all day? Work.
Oh, Jackson, what did you do?
What did you do?
After this was working last time we were not going to school, we were in the race and running around. Dad was trying to catch me.
We would race around. We would go outside even if it was cold, and we would race around, and we pretend that we were the Cars 3 cars.
Oh.
3 cars. I changed that. So I'm Jackson Storm, known as Lightning McQueen, and there's a Dinoco one, and the other one, Dinoco is Mr. the King, and I changed that he's Coward, but now he's Mr. the King.
And so we would pretend to be those characters, and we'd have races.
Yeah, we have races. Then we turn on our motors, and then when I say ready, get set, go, we go. Because I'm the one of the fastest ones.
Yeah.
Oh, you were the fastest one?
Did we do lots of like art projects?
Yeah.
Did you miss school, Jackson?
Did you miss it when you didn't go?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was hard not to see our friends.
But they're back in school now, right?
Yeah, Jackson's really lucky. His school is awesome. And do you wear a mask all day?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all wear masks all day long.
Wow.
And he goes to school. Sometimes when he gets in the car after school, he forgets to take his mask off.
Is it comfy now?
It's like, he just know
Mama
what.
brings snacks in the car in case I'm hungry.
And I bring snacks.
That's a good mama.
She brings granola bars and sometimes thick bars or raspberries or blueberries because it wasn't thick.
Sometimes it's a raspberry bar and sometimes it's a blueberry bar, you mean? Yeah.
Wow, you are a lucky kid, Jackson.
Yeah, the blueberry ones and the raspberry ones are different.
Yeah. Different fruit.
Yeah, different fruit.
Yeah, different fruit.
Those sound good.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
when you're not doing mommy things, which I'm sure is like a lot all the time, how do you occupy your time?
So pre-COVID, I think I ran an open mic and considered myself a comedian in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah, you had a great mic.
Yeah, I do have a great mic. I miss it. I just did my podcast, and I have a podcast. I just did my podcast yesterday, and I was talking to a comedian about how I just really miss the open mic. You're not going anywhere.
No,
We're not done.
no, Mama.
We're gonna go potty. He's gonna go potty and come right back.
Perfect.
Is that okay? All right, go quick.
He's like, I'm not coming back.
I do miss it though. I miss my open mic. I miss comedy. It's been nice to be home on Monday nights, which is something I never ever was. But it was also like Michael and Jackson's time to be together. So now we're just like always together.
Right. Yeah.
So it's been a little tricky.
Are you finding ways now?
Am I what?
Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead.
No. What did you say?
Are you finding ways now to like get away and get some alone time?
I mean, not really. Like, there's nothing to do. Like, that's the thing. Like, if a mic was open, I'd go for a run every morning. So I do a 4-mile run every single morning. I just came back from one, so my hair is wet. Did I go running today? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Last time she won a marathon, and we got Mama a coffee for running a marathon.
A half marathon.
And then Amy got a coffee for her marathon.
That's so nice. Were you proud of her?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, that's so nice. Do you like to run?
At the beginning of the quarantine, when all the gyms shut down, I just started running. Yeah, I just started running.
Funny.
I just ran. Every morning I would just go for a
Mama,
run.
actually, in the Toy Story 1, when they get taped for Buzz Lightyear's ship, they say Mr. Lightyear.
They do say Mr. Lightyear. That's true.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do. I heard them say it.
Yep. And also Jackson wanted to run in March and April when he wanted to get out. We would just be doing these races. So we just started running. And then in September, I did a half marathon by myself, with another friend, but she was way ahead of me.
I'm one of the fastest ones.
You are one of the fastest ones.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm slow.
It's okay. You can be slow too.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you're running, man. I bet that.
No running. Yeah. I mean, it's just, you got to get out of the house.
Yes.
You got to get out, even if it's 20 degrees outside, we all have to breathe the air,
1000%. Yes. So Jackson, how old are you?
I'm 4.
You're 4?
Yeah.
Do you like being 4?
When's your birthday?
June. 4th.
Yeah, June 4th.
That's amazing. I have a nephew that's almost your age.
The month that we are in is the last month.
This is the last month.
Yeah.
Are you excited for it to be over? Are you excited for a new year?
Yep, New Year's, because it's not going to be 2020 anymore. It's going to be 2021.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020 was weird, huh?
Last year on New Year's, Jackson was really, really sick.
Oh.
Because I got the coronavirus.
No, I don't think you had the coronavirus.
Well, I didn't have a cold.
You had a cold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not a fever.
No.
No, not a fever.
Well, this year you get to party. You get to run around.
We're gonna get sushi.
Oh.
Yeah. Jackson likes sushi.
Really? That's a mature taste.
I had sushi, but last time did I try the tuna?
You did try the tuna.
Yeah, but I didn't like it.
But you didn't really like it, but you love the avocado.
Yeah, because there's more rice.
Because there's more rice.
What, 30 there's more because every time I try to get it out, the avocado was coming out because I just pick it out and eat it.
Every time you what now?
Every time he tries to eat it, the avocado comes out. So now he just picks it out and eats it. It makes sense. That's a very smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was pregnancy like with Jackson?
Mama, I'm gonna get one of my trays.
Okay, go ahead. I don't have another pregnancy to compare it to, but it was not an easy pregnancy. I got really, 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 really big and I didn't know why. All my friends that were pregnant were gaining like 25 pounds, like whatever. And I gained like 60.
Wow.
And it turned out that I had developed hypothyroidism in the middle of my pregnancy, which happens sometimes, which means that your thyroid stops working. And your thyroid is like the barometer of your body. It tells you if you need to sweat, if you're cold, if it regulates your metabolism, everything. Your thyroid is very, very, very important. This is what I've learned. And my thyroid just stopped working. So my metabolism stopped working. And that's why it was so, I got so big. Wow. So after I had him, I was like lethargic. My hair was falling out. I couldn't remember anything. And I didn't really know what was going on. I like kind of attributed it to postpartum. Like I was like, oh, I must be going through postpartum, which I probably was. But also I had this thyroid situation going on. So we finally got that figured out. And I think that looking back, I think that's what it was during the pregnancy.
Did the doctors not know? Like you didn't know until after?
So what I found out is if you get a blood test, this is important for everybody to know. If you get a blood test, they will never check for your thyroid. You have to ask for them in a blood test to check for your thyroid, which I didn't know.
Oh my God. But you were having issues. Wouldn't you think the doctors would be like, hey, maybe it's your thyroid?
Yeah. So I go get my thyroid checked and my doctors are like, whoa, like your levels are off and I'm like, yeah, it looks like I'm 9 months pregnant and I have a 4-month-old, like, and people kept on saying like, oh, well, you just had a baby. And it's like, no, I had a baby like 8 months ago. Why am I still like,
no.
So during pregnancy, I don't think I knew anything was wrong, but it was after pregnancy that I was like, okay, what is going on with my body?
Wow.
Yeah. Pregnancy we're built for it. I'm not trying to scare anybody, your body you are not going to have the same body that you had going in. And it's going to take years. And I'm still in it to appreciate like the difference in your body after a pregnancy. Like you have to kind of look at yourself and be like, yes, but I carried you.
Yeah.
For 9 to 10 months.
Right.
You're 10 days late.
Oh my gosh. I know. Okay. I believe you, but still something in me is like, no, my body won't change.
And I hope that for you.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, freight trains are one of the longest trains.
Freight trains are very long trains.
Yeah, they have like 100 cars.
Sure.
With what in them?
Some of them have garbage in them.
Garbage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I do know women who, some of my best friends, and this is who I was comparing myself to, some of my best friends were putting on their jeans a week after having their babies, So it's all genetics. It's all just your own makeup,
Yeah.
Like come to find out when I got diagnosed with hypothyroidism, I came to find out my entire family is riddled with thyroid disease. So it's like, yeah, come on, man.
Tell them, Jackson. So how did you you said you came to be like, look, I carried you. What are some ways that you just came to realize that hey, this is how it is. I love myself. Or are you still working on it?
Still working on it, girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
This particular weekend has been I just got my blood levels taken yesterday because I felt so crazy in my own body your thyroid it changes all the time. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine and I'm like, I'm going to get my blood levels done. She's like, you're always going to get your blood. I'm like, I know. I know. So I'm still learning, and I'm still like, I mean, women don't always tell their age, but I will proudly. I just turned 41, and like, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And right, how old am I?
41.
41. And I think I'm 27. I'm sure in my mind I'm 27. So
Yeah.
I think I looked, but you're always changing.
That's really.
You're always changing, always growing. You keep growing.
Mama told me not to, but I want to.
I tell you not to grow up. I say, you stop growing up right now.
Mama, I want to be a 9-year-old.
He really wants to be a 9-year-old.
I want to be 9. Why do you want to be 9?
Because I want to be 9 because I want to get taller and taller and taller and taller and taller.
You're going to get so tall.
I think you're going to be very tall, like your Uncle Danny. Yeah.
Don't you like being little? When you're little, you can run faster.
So,
Eye roll. So, Leah, did you always want? He's cracking me up.
He's funny.
Did you always want to be a mom?
I think I did. I think I did.
Well, I want to be a baby again.
No, you don't.
Me too.
You want to be a baby again? If you're a baby again, you can't talk. And you can't walk. Babies can't walk or talk.
I want to be a baby again.
Okay, maybe.
But Mama, am I still 4?
You're still 4.
What makes you want to be a baby again, Jackson?
What do you think? You don't want to be a baby again.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What's cool about being a baby? What a baby.
Cool about, we know a couple babies. What's cool about babies? How about, I know he wants you to get to the music question.
Oh, do you like music?
Yeah, we do it at school.
But what's your favorite band?
Yes. Well, at Western Stop for the Brown Line train, it had a Rolling Stones thing on the station fence, and it said Satisfaction.
Jackson loves the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, Satisfaction is one of the wildest songs in the world.
And you love that song.
Yeah.
And
Does it make you dance?
Yeah. And who's your favorite singer in the Rolling Stones?
I like Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
That's a great band to love.
Yeah.
He's much more Stones than Beatles, which is fine.
Perfect.
You do like the Beatles too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what other songs do you like? All the songs from the Cars soundtrack. So Life is a Highway.
Oh, nice.
You really like that song.
Yeah, Mama, who's the first one in Cars that sings the song?
Oh, the Sheryl Crow song. He likes to get down to Sheryl Crow.
Yeah.
Jackson, you're the coolest kid.
You're pretty cool. Yeah.
When in Cars when they're racing on the racetrack, Lightning McQueen goes really fast. He's one of the fastest cars.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but Jackson's Strong's the one of the fastest ones.
But we've been teaching him other songs. Like he knows a lot of Michael Jackson. He knows a lot of Prince. What were we listening to yesterday?
We listen Purple Rain, but I like the Purple Rain when it's raining. I like that Purple Rain.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna listen to that Purple Rain.
We showed him when Prince played Purple Rain at the Super Bowl in the rain.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know when it was.
Gives me chills. Still gives me chills.
I haven't seen that.
You must. You must
I haven't
YouTube
seen
this.
that either.
You saw it. What else do you like? We teach him Michael Jackson and Prince. He likes.
Well, the other Michael Jackson is Jackson.
Janet Jackson.
Oh, get a Jackson.
Yeah,
Yes.
the other one is with Jackson and Michael Michael Jackson.
There's a song that they
And
sing
when-
together.
Yeah, but Mama,
What about Ray Charles?
Charles, he's the best one.
He's the best one.
Ray Charles was the first 2020 of Mama's favorite songs. It was the first one.
That's right. My spot.
Yeah, it was the first
My
one.
Spotify. I didn't want to look at my Spotify because I knew that. So, okay. I'm like an enormous Dave Matthews Band fan, like the biggest. And so every year my Spotify is like, you're in the top 2, Dave Matthews Band fan.
Keeping them going. I love that.
This year, I was like, I don't want to open my Spotify. I don't want to open it because it is going to be Hit the Road Jack by Ray Charles and Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts. That's what it's going to be. And was I right? I was right. Hit the Road Jack was the #1 song we listened to in 2020.
Yeah, it was the #1 song.
It's so cool that you my mom also introduced me to good music, and I'm so grateful.
Grateful. Mine too. I grew up listening to Paul Simon and James Taylor and Bruce Springsteen, and my parents are real folkies and stuff like that. And music just shaped everything. We always had music playing, and I try really hard to always have music playing, even if it's my music. That's okay, because eventually he's going to teach me his music, and I can't wait.
That's so nice.
I have to look to people like you to learn all the new saying. I just learned slaps, and I'm trying to use it a lot.
Hello.
Like this podcast slaps.
Okay, perfect. You
Eh?
told it. What's it like, introducing with a 4-year-old? How do you determine what you share with him, what you don't?
It's so hard. Sometimes I put on a song and I forget the words. And then I'm like, whoa, we can't listen to that song anymore. We can't listen to that song anymore. And sometimes I'm like, oh, Jackson, you're really going to like this song. Listen to this song. And he's just like, I am not interested, not interested. But then sometimes I play songs and he really likes it. What are you doing?
Mama, did you know your bottom of your arm this side of the arm is colder, but the bottom of your arm is way colder.
The bottom of my arm is very cold.
I think that's a compliment.
I put my eye on your arm.
This is a
Does he
very
surprise you like this every day?
honest look at having a 4-year-old at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Can I have this?
No, you cannot have this. Oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. She's away. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh.
Okay.
What's the experience of how is the experience of being a mom different than what you expected?
I mean, I did not have a very, linear path to being a mom. We got married after Jackson was born. Jackson was a lovely surprise. And, we just didn't really know.
Wait.
What?
I've been going to my car here.
What?
I'm never going to my car.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll bring Knight Rider.
Okay.
Knight Rider is one of the fastest cars. We
He's going to go get Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But even Thomas Thomas when Thomas goes to Africa and it has Ace in it. And Ace was one of the fastest cars in the whole world. He's speed limit.
We talk a lot about cars. I didn't teach him cars. I never bought a book about cars or trains. Never. I never learned about them. We're not I drive a 2008 beat up Toyota RAV4. Okay. This kid taught himself about cars and trains. He is obsessed. I truly think the thing that he misses the most in COVID is riding the train.
Really?
Yeah, because that's what we used to do. We used to take the train to school, take the train home from school. We wait for the train. We take the train places. We'd go, oh, there's an ice cream place that's off the Brown line. Let's go to it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I think he really misses the train.
When those kind of things pop up, or is it instant where you're like, oh, maybe he'll be an engineer? Do you think about it?
I do think that. And I'm always thinking that. And also it's kind of guided things that we do. What?
And I rather when I'm driving him on here, he can jump the stool.
Excellent. So like, you know, we were talking just in general about like family vacations, you know, and he really wants to take a train. And I was like, well, maybe we could take a train to somewhere. Maybe we could take a train to the Grand Canyon, you know, and that kind of like propelled a conversation about like, yeah, like maybe we will do this and make it like this big adventure, you know?
Yeah.
That's okay.
I was just looking at it.
That's fine.
And the cat pooped.
Yep, we have a cat.
But if we get a mouse and a cat, the cat will eat the mouse.
That's right.
But I want to get a mouse that talks.
There are no talking mice. We watch a show called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie and the Mouse Talks, but I told Jackson it's not real.
They have a show about that now?
Yeah, it was a book and now it's a show. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, but the mama Uncle Danny has them, so it's if you give your mouse a cookie and if you give your mouse a muffin, and what's the last one?
I don't know, but Uncle Danny said he was sending you the books for Hanukkah. That's right.
I know, Mama. Is the last one after you give your mouse a muffin? Is it one the mouse is super?
I think so.
Okay.
So you were talking about you didn't have a very linear path to having Jackson. So like, was it just, how was that adjusting? You know, and being like, okay.
Scary. I mean, I have a lot of, I don't want to like, I mean, I use the word trauma. I don't want to use it loosely, but I do have a lot of trauma about it. You know, like this was my boyfriend. We were not married. I think that people, namely like my parents and his parents, were kind of a little too all over us, you know, because it was crazy. You know, my parents are in Boston and his parents are closer. So his parents got to come a lot more. And the boundaries really got blurred. And I think that like when you kind of have a path that you want to follow, then you can be your own advocate and be like, this is what I want. And, you know, we're going to have this time to ourselves, or we're going to, and I didn't have any of that. It was just like everybody all the time in my face. And I remember just feeling really like out of control of my motherhood. Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't know if that makes like, and it's not a big deal anymore, but since it's a parent, you know, since it's a podcast about parenting.
Right.
I think that grandparents, especially grandparents who are going to be grandparents for the first time, get crazy. And they take things from the mom without knowing that they're taking them. Firsts, you know, and a lot of firsts were taken from me without me knowing. And I had to like kind of, and that it gave me a little bit of trauma because I was like, because I don't know if I'm going to have another one. And I don't know, you know, he was a surprise. So it was scary for me, you know, and I'm still dealing with that. But as the years went on, and as I started to really like own my motherhood.
Hey, Mama, watch. This is Mama, watch my tape.
As I started to own my motherhood and really start to feel good about what I was doing and really own my choices and frankly, tell people to back off.
Yeah.
And that was really hard. I'm still learning how to do that.
Right. So you didn't just like have Jackson and then came into it like, okay, this is my baby piece.
I had Jackson, I held him in my hands, and I will say I was like, this is a love unlike any other. That I can tell you.
Mama,
the second it happens.
Wait,
yeah.
When are we going to be done?
We'll be done soon.
Okay.
If you want to be done, then you can say bye, or you can just sit here and talk.
Well, if I'm gone, then you can still talk. Okay?
Is that okay with you, Amber?
That's fine. I appreciate you, Jackson. Nice to meet you.
Can you take my tree pieces with me? I want to put them.
Why don't you put them on the ground? Anyway, I'm talking still, so.
I know, but Mama, you have to bring my tree pieces.
Well, I can't because I'm talking, but you can bring them down here. And then when I'm done, I can help you. Okay.
I only want to bring my.
All right. It's difficult. It is unlike a love. It is, but it's also the scariest feeling. Like, I remember when the nurses were like, you know, checking us out of the hospital. And I was like, you're not coming? Like, you're not like and I started a podcast called the Parental Advisory Podcast. And literally my tagline is who put me in charge? Because it was like, I'm in charge. Like I need an adult. You know what I mean? Like I can't be the adult. I can't be, but I am. And all of a sudden you just are.
That is insane.
I didn't take one class. I didn't take one parenting class. I didn't take a breastfeeding class. I was like, no. And do I regret that? No.
What? You don't regret it?
Nope.
Why?
Don't regret it. I don't know why. It just, with Jackson and I think it was meant to be. He didn't have a problem breastfeeding. He has a problem sleeping. He still to this day has a problem sleeping. I could have gone for like a sleep training thing. That might have been better. But I don't regret it. I don't. I just
like learning together,
we just learned everything together. He's my road dog.
I love that. You were talking about, like grandparents getting like really intense, and my sister has a kid, and my mom will just like randomly be like, remember to buckle him up, and my sister's like, I know.
Oh, it's infuriating.
When you're taking my tray pieces down from the thing that you're working on, do one at a time.
Okay.
I don't want them. No, Mama, don't do it now.
Okay, I'll do it later.
Yeah, Mama.
I'll do it later because I'm still talking to Amber.
I know.
Okay, I'm talking to her about BB and Papa and.
Well, Mama, you said that after you're done talking, you could help me.
I will after I'm done talking. So, and this is not that I don't love my parents or love my in-laws. But there were some times that I was like, you guys got your chance. You raised your kids. My turn. And like little things like, and it would just, and I know they just love this child and they just want to be there and help us. But little things like remember to buckle or zip a jacket or, he's got a cold. Oh, he better go to bed early. It's like, oh, you think? I mean,
yeah. It's like, what do you think I'm doing when you're not?
What do you think I'm doing? And I'm not doing everything perfect. I'll admit that. I'll be the first to it. He does not. He is 4 years old. And every night he comes into my room. Every single night. Wakes me. He doesn't just wake me up. He stares at me from the end of the bed until I wake up. It's the scariest thing that's ever happened. Did I do that perfectly? No. Will he go to college sleeping through the night? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you going to college? Maybe. We'll see.
We were talking a little bit about you being like, oh, like maybe he'll be this and maybe he'll be that. Do you like find it hard to keep your dreams for him in check?
Oh my God, it's so bad. Because sometimes I tell him to invite me to the Oscars. Sometimes I tell him that Ben Affleck brought his mom to the Oscars. And then, I mean, true. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Leo all brought their moms to the Oscars.
Good men.
Good men. So if he gets an Oscar or, Tony, then I'm going.
So you want him to be in the arts. Like that's.
I think he will be in the arts, but he can be whatever he wants.
And you mean that?
Very creative. He knows songs really quick. He's on pitch and he may look exactly like my husband, but his insides are all me. I mean, he is like a little theater kid.
That is awesome. That must be so fun.
It makes me happy.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I will nourish whatever he wants. He's really into the guitar. And he comes from a long line of guitar players. I'll nourish whatever he wants. But yeah, it's hard for me not to put my stuff in check. Sure.
Totally.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if he wants to be a math whiz, great. I'm not. Good luck.
It's all on you, bud.
Right.
What's one of the most beautiful things you find about him or like that he teaches you?
I mean, I'm not good at it, but he teaches me patience. I'm learning more patience. You have to be patient, and I am not.
Yeah.
He also teaches me, this is like really cheesy, but he teaches me about time. Like I blinked and he's 4.5. like we're looking at kindergarten. Like it's bizarre because you think of a kindergartner as like a little kid, right? But I think of him right now as like this grown man. I'm like, where's my baby? Like, I mean, you just had a full-on conversation with him,
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Do you does it make you want to have another kid?
I do. I'm old and he was this crazy surprise. And then with my thyroid, like I probably waited a little bit too long, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I am so down. I keep looking down because he's down there. I'm so down with him being my greatest accomplishment. And so far to date, he is. And I know that sounds like really, really cheesy, but like the kid just really makes me proud.
That's so cool. And I mean, 4-year-olds are so smart and amazing and have, these personalities, but like already just at 4, you're like, there's nothing he can do that wouldn't make me proud.
Yeah. I don't like it when he talks back.
Oh.
And I don't like it when he has a temper, but we're working on it. And you know what? Mama has a temper.
Yeah.
Big time.
So, you said that he's like, you see yourself in him. Do you see that a lot where you're like, oh, I taught you that?
Well, but I also see like bad things like what? Okay, you can watch Trains in 2 seconds.
Trains that don't talk.
Trains that don't talk as soon as Dada gets home from his run. He'll be home really soon.
But I don't need to turn him off.
I will in a second. I'm a nail biter.
Oh.
Never thought my kid would be a nail biter. Full-on nail biter.
Oh, really?
Bite your nails?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I was like, great. I'm passing along all my nervous energy onto my child. Like I do see like that kind of stuff. Like I can see the negative stuff more, like nail biting or nervous energy or temper. But I can also see that he's really good at memorizing things that he hears. So am I. Yeah, I think that like, I can easily see the bad things. Like I can easily see like, oh, he's going to do that. Oh, he's going to be a nail biter. Like, I so don't want my kid to be a nail biter. I know how much it's painful. And, like,
Yeah.
I can see it with him all the time. Like, he'll touch his fingers and I'm like, does that one hurt, buddy? Like, you bit that one too far down.
That's so, I didn't know that was like a hereditary.
My mom bites her nails. My dad bites his nails. My brother's nails are like tiny little nubbins. But my husband's nails are fine. So I was kind of hoping he would get that, I'm
right.
Like,
hi.
We'll work on it. You're taking the train.
You take those.
What's something that's, have you ever been through something hard together that you had to like navigate how to lead him through, like a 4-year-old through it, and like maybe the pandemic or?
I'm going to say the pandemic. I was going to say like, so this summer, and like everybody can judge all they want. I hadn't seen my parents in a year and it was August and I decided that we were going to go see my parents. So we went to Cape Cod because we have a place that we rent in Cape Cod and the whole family's together. So we got tested and we went to Cape Cod and the whole thing. And traveling with Jackson solo, and then renting a car and the whole thing, we learned a lot about each other on this trip this past summer. And like, it was navigating through COVID and navigating, we've traveled before, but we've never traveled like this, and putting a mask on and,
right.
The whole thing. And it was just really interesting to like help each other. Like we helped each other through that trip. That trip will go down in history as like our first real, like, rockin' solo trip.
Yeah. What were like some of the memorable good moments and bad moments?
I think the funniest thing that I'll remember for the rest of my life is that we had to rent a car when we got there because we weren't going to take the train. We weren't going to take the ferry and we weren't going to sleep over in a hotel. Like we were doing like, get to Cape Cod,
Yeah, right.
So they gave us a Chevy Malibu. And of course, Jackson's obsessed with cars. So now whenever he sees a Chevy, anytime he sees a Chevy, It doesn't matter what kind of Chevy it is. He just goes, oh, there's a rental car. Whatever color it is, like when we got there, they had like 3 rental cars and they were like, there's a blue, a red, and a silver, which one do you want? And Jackson chose the silver,
Yeah.
And so they'll be like, there's a rental car. They chose blue.
What
Makes me laugh.
What an angel, man. Are you ever like, man, I want to just like write these things down that
I do. I try to write down as much as I can about things he says.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just a tweet or a Facebook or a whatever, I try to write, or I just text my mom like Jackson just said. I try to remember. I'm so bad at writing it all, which is funny for a comedian because we write down everything.
Right.
I'm sitting here with like note, like I've got,
old envelopes.
Right. I'm like, this is funny, but I don't write down those things, and I think I'm going to remember, and I don't. Oh, this is good. We were cleaning out his room, and like, I don't know, like a year ago, Jackson had like a favorite stuffed animal, and I don't know, it must have just gotten buried under a bunch of other stuffed animals, and I completely forgot about it. And we're cleaning his room, and I was like, oh, Jackson, look at the elephant. Jackson, what's this elephant's name? And he looked at me and he's like, Mama, what's his name? And I was like, Jackson, I don't know. What is his name? And he was like, I don't know. What's it? And Amber, I mean, for 3 hours, I was going through papers. I was checking text messages. What is the damn elephant's name? His name is Hee-Ho. I remembered it after 3 hours, and I will never forget it again.
I love that was a dramatic moment. It's like, oh no.
What is the elephant's name? You loved this elephant. What's the elephant's name? Hee-Ho.
I was like, oh no. So how did your mom's way of mothering influence yours?
I think a lot. I mean, my mom we could have a whole pod with just my mom. My mom's the best. I think having hippie folky parents was really great because I did have this easy breezy music in the air kind of feeling in my life, but my dad was a corporate lawyer and very, you do your homework and by the book, and most intellectual man I've ever known in my life. And my mom kind of counters that. She's so fun and easy breezy, and she works out, and she, it was just her birthday, and like all these people from high school were like, does your mom still look like she's 30? Yes, she does. Yes.
Amazing. So do you feel like you have both of those personalities in one?
Yeah. I feel like I'm very much a mixture of both of them now. Yeah. But growing up, I was much more my mom. And now I'm getting a lot more of my dad in me, but the mothering stuff is my mom. Mm-hmm. You fall down, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Brush it off.
Yes.
You're going to school. Are you bleeding out of your eyes? You're not bleeding out of your eyes. You're going to school. I never missed a day of school. I was never allowed to miss a day of school. Literally had to be vomiting.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way I treat him too. I'm just like, no, you're fine. And which is weird, like in COVID times, because like I did send him to school like a couple months ago with a runny nose because like he's a kid with allergies. And I never thought like that would be a thing.
Right.
Oh yeah. No. You had to send him right home. He cannot have allergies in this school. Not during COVID. Wow. You cannot have a runny nose during COVID.
That all kids need to go home then.
All kids have. They've shut down the school for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Too many symptoms in the school,
Man.
We're in a new world.
It's weird. It's really weird.
This is going to be very interesting.
Especially him growing up in this. It's like a totally different childhood than you had.
Well, we were talking about that. Like Michael and I were like saying like we're looking at kindergarten, right? Well, there's a very good possibility that he's going to be hybrid a couple days of the week, right?
Wow.
I might know everything I know about mothering from my mother, but she never had to teach me kindergarten via a computer, right? This
Right.
is going to be really interesting. Like, I'm not a teacher. I don't know how to do, I barely know how to install things on my computer. I am typical class of 1997, did not have computers, learning everything as we go. I don't know what happened after Kurt Cobain died. It's still 1993, truly. So like, how are we going to do this? I literally said to my parents the other day, I was like, I think I have to buy Jackson a computer.
Wow. Wow.
Right?
Once again, like when you had Jackson and you were like, oh, no one's coming with me. Once again, the world is just like, here, go teach this kid.
But I'm sure that's what happened with me too. I'm sure, my mom took me home and was like, what do I do?
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, the whole thing is wild. I mean, there's nobody who's going to sit down and say like, this has been an easy ride. They could have an easy baby. It's not an easy ride. And then throw COVID in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think COVID moms are some of the strongest moms ever. Moms who have had to fulfill their career and be a mom at the same time all day long. Moms who have had babies during COVID with masks on. I can't even imagine. I was in labor for 32 hours. I cannot imagine doing that with a mask on. And these women do. If anybody wants to say a woman is not strong, they can just go,
Right.
straight away. Because these women are we are battling careers, jobs, husbands, and making sure we don't freak out at our children for no apparent reason just because we're stuck at home with them all day.
Yeah.
Not supposed to be with your kids this long.
Right.
Have time away so that you can come together and talk about your day.
Yes. And I'm so glad that you said that, Leah, because, my sister just had a kid, like I said, and she, a lot of the times will feel bad because she's like, I just need a moment at a motel. I don't even need it to be fancy. I just want to say, and then she'll be like, but I love my kid. I'm like,
of course you do. But you need to be away. You need to be away from your husband. You need to be away from everything and take 2 hours and watch Sex and the City and then come back.
yes.
And we don't have that right now. We can't go to a coffee shop. We can't, Michael and I work together all day. He's at one end of the apartment. I'm at the other end of the apartment. Sometimes we actively ignore each other just so that we can talk to each other in a couple hours about something.
Right.
It's not normal.
I wonder where that came from, where this guilt from moms where they're like, I love my kid though, even though I want to be away.
It's so funny. I was just talking to a girlfriend of mine who has 3 and she was like, the oldest is going to go back to school, in January. And she was like, but I'm going to miss him. I feel so guilty because I'm going to miss him, but I know he needs to go to school. And it's like, of course we don't want to give up any of the time and the love, but we know they have to go.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to deal with that a lot. I'm sure when he goes to kindergarten, I'm sure when he goes to college, I'm sure, when he goes to sleepaway camp.
Oh, yes.
I think that I'm super excited for him to go to sleepaway camp. Like, go.
Has he been does he do sleepovers at this age?
Yeah. Pre-COVID, he would sleep over at, his Gigi and Pappy's all the time. And my parents would come here and, we had a wedding one weekend. So my parents would come and stay with him for the weekend. Or like when we go to Boston, Michael and I would go out for the night and my parents would stay with him. He's down with sleepovers. I slept over at my grandparents' house. I don't know about you, but I always slept over at my grandparents' house.
Yes.
Some of my best memories.
Which was much better than sleeping over to a friend's house. At a friend's house, I'd be like, can you come get me?
Yeah. I never really was down with the friend's house, but I was always into sleeping at grandma's.
Yeah. They're the best.
The best. And you got away with everything and,
Exactly.
And I miss that for him. I hope that can happen soon. I really, once his grandparents get the vaccine and we can start moving on this, because we haven't seen them in months.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah. We haven't seen them since the summer. We haven't seen my parents we saw my parents after a year. So we saw them in August, but we probably won't see them again until August.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Jackson,
lot.
like expressing, I miss my grandparents.
He's definitely at the point where he's like, when I go to my Gigi's house and I'm like, you're gonna go. Like, it's been a long enough time that he's like, I'd like to go to my Gigi's. I used to go there all the time.
Oh, he's like, remember that fun.
Yeah. But luckily we have the holiday right now to like, it's Hanukkah. So we're like, so he's got Hanukkah going on right now. So he's kind of breaking up things, he's got some presents and it's been okay.
That's good.
Yeah. But I'm hoping in January or February, we can really, see our families again.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit like Jackson being at the end of the bed staring at you to wake you up. um, what are some other ways that like, things that are unique to you guys, people may not understand? Like, I slept in the same bed with my mom, like a little into teenage years, you know what I'm saying? So like, what are some things like that where you're like, look, we're close, okay?
He walks into my room around 1 to 2 a.m. every morning and crawls into bed.
Oh,
he goes to bed in his own bed, so I'll give him that. We're close. Like, we've experienced things together in these 4.5 years. So we just talk about things that we've experienced. I mean, we went to this like playground and I was just like, and it was like a nice day. And I was just like lying on the grass, like stretching my legs. Like I was doing like a straddle and I was like stretching out my hamstring. He's got an entire play structure in front of him. He comes running from the play structure to climb on me. But that's a good example of like, he'd rather just climb on his mom. We're very lion cub.
oh.
Like it's a very like lion cub, like tackle fight kind of. And from other moms of boys that I've talked to, that is a thing. Really? Yeah, they just want to tackle you. That's how they show they love you. They want to tackle you. Sometimes they hit you because they love you. Now, I try not to get him to hit me, but he does tackle me a lot. He will jump on me. He will jump to me. He will jump on me.
That's so interesting.
Very interesting.
So a lot of your other friends, they are boy moms too, like you guys talk about.
I've got one friend that has 3 boys. We've all got at least 1 boy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't have any I have 1 friend who has 3 girls. The rest of us have boys. What does she
hear you talk about being a boy mom and it's like completely different?
I bet she doesn't understand. It's funny too. My brother has 2 girls. And it's funny because like when we do see each other at the Cape or whatever, and like Jackson's like, peeing standing up, and I can see my brother like, oh, it's crazy.
That must have been, I mean, obviously you like your mom instincts kick in, but like now.
Yeah, but I don't have a penis.
What now?
I don't have a penis. So, that was all new.
Yeah. That must be so like, I've seen my sister, she has a boy too, just like, wipe snot and like lick old food. And I'm like, what?
You just do it. I've eaten cold, like chicken nuggets. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what am I, like, I'll stop myself and be like, what is
like,
this?
I can cook. What? That's hanging out with a 4-year-old.
Hanging out with a boy, you talk about, poop and, gross thing, cars and, wrecks and wreckage and demolition and,
yeah.
I'm just like, we don't talk. What is that?
You, I know that comedy is, what it is now, but do you joke about Jackson a lot? Do you find that your set like goes to him a lot?
Oh yeah. I think that my comedy changed when I had him.
Really?
Yeah. To much more just like, I'm a mom comedy. Like, I can't, like, I had to change my act. I can still talk about being a kid of the 90s. I can still talk about all that stuff, but like, yeah, I had a baby and that baby's 4. And there's a lot of funny stuff that comes with that.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. Do you miss comedy?
I think I do. I got to be honest, at the beginning, it was a nice little break. Like,
I think everybody needed it.
Everybody needed it. I think we all needed it. I think that in March, I was like, okay, the mic's off for a month.
Right.
I could use a couple Mondays at home. That's fine. Shake out my wings, like it's winter in Chicago. It sucks, like it's fine. But once like May into June. And I was just like, man, I could really get up there again and like I could use that, the butterflies. I could use that adrenaline. I miss that adrenaline, you know?
Yeah.
That performance. And I did a few Zoom shows, but like,
not feeling it.
It was painful.
That's what I've been hearing from some people that it's painful.
I'm just sitting in this room, you know, the delayed laughter. It wasn't good. It just wasn't good. Yeah. And I'm sure for some people it is good. And that's great. But for me, it wasn't. I'm
hoping that when it comes back, audiences will be, I'm hoping for less hecklers.
Me too. I am hoping and I'm hoping for more serious comedians at mics. Don't get up there and you've been waiting for an hour and a half. This is my biggest pet peeve. You've been waiting for an hour and a half from your turn. You get up at the mic. It is now your turn. You have 3 minutes and you go, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. Are you kidding me?
That is
what you stumble through 3 minutes of BS. What have you been doing? I'm sorry.
And your mic ran long. Like you had a lot of.
Because I gave everybody like that their 3 minutes. I should have just been like, you're done. Next. You know, I should have done that.
Do you think that like being a mom, have you always been like let's wrap it up? Or do you think being a mom, you're more like, all right.
I think I always have been though, very like, keep the ship running.
Yeah.
Like, because my biggest thing is like timing. Like I need to get home before midnight, or I need to have 6 hours of sleep, or I need, when he was little, you know, when he was a baby, if it went past midnight, I knew I was going to have to be up in 3 hours because he would be up to get fed. You know what I mean? So I was like, let's go, people.
Let's go, people.
Let's do this.
Tell your jokes. That is very, I don't know if comics like realize how kind of disrespectful it is to the host.
I think they realize it when they become the host. When they ever like, I'll host your mic. And people have done that for me. Like when I had him that week that I had him, I couldn't do the mic. Right. So I called my friend and I was like, can you do the mic? And he was like, absolutely not a problem. Like, I'll handle the mic. And he said, Jesus, Lia, I mean,
you're like,
I'm like, I know.
I know. That makes me think about this. When my sister had her kid, everybody's like, oh, the kid. And she's like, I really don't like, people will be like, I can't wait to see Cooper. And they don't really say, I can't wait to see Heather anymore. And she says she doesn't care, but I'm just curious, like, have you experienced that? She cares.
How old's the baby?
He's 3.
I think she cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. People would stop asking about me.
Yeah.
And that bummed me out. I will say that. Yeah.
Because you're so
also, like when you first have a baby, people come over all the time. They come over all the time. They want to see the baby. They want to hold the baby. They're so excited. About that first year, you can't get rid of anybody. Once that kid is 1.5, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody's giving up their seat for you on the train. Nobody's, that kid is snotty and, smells a little bit, and the newborn has worn off. Mm. And not only are they not asking about you, they're not asking about anything,
Wow, that's really interesting.
It is interesting. It is, and it's funny too. You will the people who don't give up their seat for pregnant women on the train cannot tell you how many. It's like, hello.
Really?
Yeah, I noticed that a lot when I was pregnant. That, and when you have a stroller on the train, if the baby is like a baby, maybe people will get up. But if that kid's in like a stroller and it's like 2, they don't care. They're like,
they just avoid eye contact. Like,
I would just be like,
hello.
I mean, people are rude.
They are. We're all in our own little.
I wonder if post-COVID though, if people will be much more, gracious to other people. I mean, people do smile at each other now.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that lasts.
I hope that lasts too.
I really do.
Yeah.
So what would be, if you could give like universal advice either to moms or kids, what would be like your mama says advice?
Okay. I thought about this. You have to be kind to yourself. You're just not going to get it right every time on the first try. Sometimes you are going to get it right. And bravo. And take that one and put it in your pocket because you did it. But sometimes you're not going to get it right. And you have to forgive yourself. You have to allow yourself fault. You're not going to be perfect. You're both learning this. He's learning how to be a kid. I'm learning how to be a mom. Right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that and, you know, hydrate. I cannot. I never learned the importance of water until this child was born. Drink your water. Mamas cannot survive on coffee alone. I tried, and the coffee helps a lot. I drink it black now. I don't even drink it with cream anymore. I drink black coffee, but you must hydrate. Hydrate and be kind to yourself.
That's great advice. That's so great. And one more question. What would, now that this is like stamped in time for Jackson to see later and you guys
I know. He's not even in the room, but I love that.
Oh, what would you like him to know forever?
I'm his biggest fan. I am his biggest fan, and he, you know, he is my greatest accomplishment, and he's not even done doing all these things. And I'm just, it's so cheesy. I could cry. He's the best. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of us. I'm proud of this family. We were not him being born made us a family. And, you know, we're learning together, and it's not conventional at all, but it's what we are. And I'm proud of it.
Beautiful. Yeah. That's so beautiful. I love that. Leah, thank you for joining me.
Seriously, this was awesome.
Oh,
I feel so good.
Oh, that is my goal. Like, that's my goal, is to make the mamas feel good, because you guys deserve it. You deserve.
Well, and I'm so glad, because I didn't know you before this. And like Jeremy Drasner Jeremy, shout out. Thank you for telling me to get in touch with Amber.
Yes, for sure. When he said like, oh, you could bring your son, I'm like, yes, 1,000%. Like, that is.
He can talk.
Hopefully get to revisit when he's older. And
I would love that. And I'll bring him to the mic. And when we have the mic again and you come and, you know, you guys can.
I'm really looking forward to that.